Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Hope you're doing well. So today I thought I would show you a little trick, or at least a little product. The product that I'm talking about will basically make my face last all day, as in sweat washing. Should I say sweat? Actually, it is sweat proof, budge proof, and it barely gets oily. If anything, it gets slightly dewy, but that's about it. Usually with my foundation routine, because I have an oily T-zone, I have normal skin on the perimeter of my face, but my T-zone is oily. So because of that, my foundation tends to get oily on my nose, slightly on my forehead, in the corners of my nose, and just maybe slightly around my mouth. Especially around my mouth, it gets caught in the creases of my mouth, and foundation breaks up in my smile lines. That's what I mean. So the foundation breaks up in my smile lines. So this particular product helps with that, and yeah, it just makes my face look extra smooth, extra matte, and it lasts for a long time. It doesn't clock out as early as my normal primer would, so that's why I like it. I like it because my primer basically gives me, say, about 6 to 7 hours maximum, about 8 hours on a really good day, without getting too oily, and then after that it starts getting just a little bit dewy. And the primer I'm talking about is my W7 Prime Magic. It's what I use most days. Sometimes I switch it up, but that's what I use most of the time. And yeah, so that primer is really good. It's really smoothing. It's a silicone based primer, whereas this product, I use it with the primer. Sometimes I use it without, and I can't quite tell. I think it works just as well with and without. The only thing is, with it, the primer, I also have the benefit of having a smoothing primer on top, whereas this product is just for mattifying my skin and keeping it matte. So yeah, so I thought I'd basically just go through my foundation routine for now, or just use some foundations that I have. I have a bunch of different foundations out. If you go through my channel, you see a bunch of different foundation reviews. But recently, what I've been doing is mixing two of my really good favorite foundations together, and creating something I really like, a really nice finish. So the two foundations I'm going to be using today is my Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless in 356. This is slightly dark and warm for my skin, and the other foundation I'm going to be mixing with it is my Maybelline Dream Satin foundation in the shade 54 Toffee Beige. This has SPF 30 in it. This doesn't have anything. This is just a poreless primer. It gives you kind of like a poreless look, and it keeps you matte. It's not the most mattifying foundation I have, and it certainly isn't as mattifying as the original version, the American version in the glass bottle, I will say that. But the only thing is, I do love the way it looks. I love the finish of this, and it's medium. They're both kind of medium coverage. They're relatively buildable. I don't think they'll give you full coverage, but they'll give you medium to full coverage if you apply more than one layer. So I'm just going to mix the two of these together. So I'm going to use a little something. Actually, I've been using it for a while, but for some reason I never remember to use it when I'm filming. So it's this little plastic thing, and it's something I bought from Primark, and you just use it to mix your foundation, your concealer, and yeah, it just saves you having to put it on the back of your hands. So I'm gonna take maybe 2 pumps of my Maybelline Dream Satin foundation, and then I'm gonna take about the same amount of my matte poreless foundation. And this is what the two look like. So this is the matte poreless on this side, and that's the Dream Satin. Bye bye. So now that I have my foundations, I'm just going to use my so the secret product. This is a mashed up bottle. This is proper mash up, but ignore the bottle and what it looks like. I have spilled this. Okay, so the bottle is proper mashed up, but don't watch that. And what I do, so this bottle, actually I haven't even told you what this is. So this is calamine lotion, and if you know calamine lotion, you know what it's most commonly used for. The first time I experienced this, I used this product was when I had chickenpox, and yeah, don't let that scare you. Calamine lotion isn't only for things like that. So it's not for chickenpox, it's not the cure for chickenpox. The whole point of calamine lotion is to basically calm inflamed skin, and yeah, so it's meant to soothe any irritations, and it's really good with rashes. It's good on adults and children, and obviously it's an approved product. It contains zinc oxide and calamine, and yeah, I think that's about it. So this one is this colored? Yeah, so this is basically it has a slight pink tint to it, but if you can get like a plain one, you can get that as well. This is the one I've been using. I bought it at Boots, and I think it might have been maybe £2. I've had it for such a long time. I first used this many years ago when I first had chickenpox, and that was the only time I ever used this, and that's what I thought it was used for. That was the only thing I thought it was used for. But calamine lotion is actually good for rashes. I've had an allergic reaction and I used this. I've used this on my spots as well. It's really good for drying spots. It has so many skin benefits as well. So many things you can use it for, so many different types of rashes. I think if you have eczema you can use it as well, just to calm the itchiness. Basically red, itchy, inflamed, irritated skin, you can use this to calm it. The only thing is it leaves, obviously it's a kind of a powdery product, almost like think of it as a clay mask, a liquidy clay mask. So once it dries down and leaves, you know, the residue. Basically it leaves a powdery residue. So what this does is mattifies my skin really well. Like I said, there are times when I've used it on its own, and other times I've used primer on top of it so I can get that smoothing effect. Because the only thing with this is if you use too much and if you don't apply it properly, you're just gonna have to basically work a little bit more to make your foundation look flawless. But if you use a dot, so I have some collected in the lid of this, and it just looks it's just like a little what do you call it, I'm just going to take a bit on my finger and I'm going to put it on my T-zone. In fact, I think I'm tempted to do like a half and half, but I feel like that will look a bit crazy when I go out, because it is really hot today. It's going to be like, I think 34-35 degrees. We're going through a month-long heat wave. In fact, I think it's been more than a month in the UK right now. And yeah, living in the UK is a little challenging at the moment with this hot weather we're not used to. So I think what I'm going to do is apply it to half my face. Oh gosh, can I do that? It's really hot today and I just don't want to get oily and I'm going out. Oh yeah. So what I'm going to do is just apply, in fact I'm going to apply it to the whole of my face, because you've seen what my face looks like. If you've seen my videos, you see how long foundation tends to last on me anyway. And like I said, it lasts about 6 to 7 hours. It gets quite dewy around my T-zone. So I've already done, so I did the same routine yesterday, and I took it to work and it was so hot. I think yesterday was actually the hottest day of the year. It was like 37 degrees or something stupid. So today is probably going to be about 34. Still really hot, but not as hot as yesterday. So what I'm going to do is just apply the whole thing onto my T-zone. And you can do this for events as well, especially when you know you're going to be like under like maybe lights or that kind of thing. If you're going to be like running around and hot and bothered, this would be a good one to use. I've actually used a little bit more than I did yesterday. And what you want to do, I'm just going to put it in my smile lines as well. And the thing with this is that it dries it dries pretty quickly. I didn't need to put it as far down on my nose as I have. I just kind of got carried away while I was talking. Usually I'll just put a little bit, I'll just stop around here and just leave it in my T-zone. So calamine lotion is on, it dries really quickly, so you need to work really quickly. What you can also do is mix it with your primer. So any primer you have, any moisturizer you have, you can mix it with that. If you have a primer that doesn't last as long as you'd like it to, but it has certain properties that you want, mix it with this, apply that as a base, and then put the primer on top so it does whatever it is you want it to do. So if it's a blurring primer or it doesn't mattify, mix it with this, or put this first and then put that primer on top, and then it'll still do the job it's meant to do anyway without you getting oily. So now that that is on, I'm going to put my primer on top. So I'm just going to use my W7 Fine Magic primer. In fact, I'm tempted to, so what I'm going to do is put my primer on one half. Actually, let's do that. I'm going to put my primer on one half and leave this on its own. So I'm going to put my primer on my, what is this, my right side. Just taking a pea-sized amount. So I'm going to take my Tarte brush and kind of just dab into the foundation. And this is a foundation brush, by the way. So I'm going to put another pump of each. What I'm going to do is apply it to this side of my face first. So I probably should have used less of the Maybelline foundation and more of the less of the Dream Satin foundation and more of the Fit Me, because as you can see it's left a bit of a ring of foundation, and this brush is a bit too small to go into the center of my face, but we'll make it work. So I've just changed to my buffing brush and I'm just going to use that. And then with my Real Technique sponge, I'm just going to take a dab of the Maybelline Fit Me and just use that to kind of darken up my face a little bit. To be honest, this kind of looks more full coverage than I remember it being, but it might just be because I've used a bit more foundation than I normally would. The only other thing is I feel like you might need to use a bit more foundation if you go with the calamine lotion raw on your face. If you mix it with your primer, it dilutes it a little bit more, so you won't need to use as much foundation, and I don't tend to use a lot of foundation in my makeup routine. But either way, if you just blend, it just looks as close to your skin as possible. So my right side is the side with the primer and the calamine lotion, and my left side is the side with just the calamine lotion. And to be honest, I can't really tell the difference right now. So I'm going to zoom you in a bit so you can see what my face looks like. And this is why I like using both of these foundations. They're really blendable and they just give a skin light finish. Obviously it helps if you take your time in blending and if you use the right brush. For this purpose, I think when I used this yesterday, because this brush is really good for buffing in foundation, I didn't have my brows on yesterday, so I didn't have to worry about trying to go into like any crevices, whereas today I had a bit of a challenge because I already had my brows on. So that's the only thing to consider, because it's quite a big brush compared to this buffing brush I normally use. And also what also helped with the application is my Real Techniques sponge, and you can still kind of see my oh, are we not focusing today? You can still kind of see my acne scarring, and I'm just going to cover that with some extra powder. I'm not going to use any concealer on that. I'm going to use concealer on my under eyes. And yeah, so I'm just going to quickly go through the products I used in the same way that I used them yesterday. I will go back and fix my brows. I think I took off a bit from the center. I'll fix my brows later. So I used the Maybelline Brightening Creamy Concealer in 60 Deep. It's just a lovely creamy on the go type of concealer. You can totally blend it with your fingers and it blends in seconds, but since I have the Real Technique sponge, I'm just going to use that. So I'm just going to zoom back out. Next I'm going to set my under eye with my MUA Pro Base Prime and Conceal Correcting Powder, and it's a yellow coloured powder. So I'm just applying my MUA correcting powder to my mouth area. And to my cheeks as well, because that's where I have discoloration. And you can use this on anywhere on your face where you need to kind of brighten it up a bit. So I'm just slightly dusting it on my under eye area, and then I'm going to take the yellow one and use that to set my under eye area. Sometimes I'll use it in the center of my face as well if there's any left. Okay, so I've just applied my these two powders to my under eye area, and now I'm going to go in with this larger banana powder and just use it to brighten up my under eye area, but not in my crease, slightly below. And then I'm going to use the neutralizing apricot powder on top. And then I'm just going to buff in all this powder with my... So I'm going to use the powder I normally use to bronze, and this is the True Match Super Blendable powder in 10D Deep Golden. It looks like this. So I'm just going to use this to blend everything together. Okay, so this is what my face looks like. Hopefully it blends into the rest of my skin a little better. And then I'm just going to contour with my Profusion palette. I'm just going to use these two powders at the bottom. Next, I'm going to use my two favorite highlighters right now. It's the Glow Commotion highlighter, and then I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution Vivid Baked Bronzer in Rock On World. The packaging is just breaking apart. I feel like this thing is going to break up on me very soon. This is what it looks like. I'm going to use a large thick fan brush, and I'll first layer on this. I didn't wear blush yesterday, so I'm not going to wear blush today. So this is basically what I did to my face. And the mascara I'm going to use, where's my mascara? So the mascara I'm going to use is my Essence Get Big Lashes Volume Boost Mascara. I'm going to line my lips with my eye pencil, my kohl eyeliner from Poundland. Then I'm going to go with my Makeup Revolution Exposed Lip Liner from the Nude collection. I'm going to set my face with my amazing my Revolution Pro Fix Amazing Makeup Fixing Spray. It looks like this. Now my face is basically bulletproof. So yeah, I'm I'm just gonna I'm gonna fix my eyebrows a bit because I think I took off some of it with my foundation brush, my humongous foundation brush, and then I'll come back. Hi everyone, so I'm back and this is my finished face. And yeah, so I hope this routine, it's not that I hope, I know this routine will last me all day. I'm gonna see, although I have already filmed the other half of this. Yesterday I came back and I thought, oh, my face still looks good and it was the hottest day of the year. Let me film what it looks like so that I can do this foundation routine again this morning and then put the two together. But if I have time, I might just show you what it looks like twice. So what you see is two end results, basically just to make sure and confirm foundation looks like after a 4 days wear. So yesterday was actually more like a 12-hour test, and well, yesterday I wore the foundation for 12 hours as I normally do anyway, and so today I will show you what it looks like after, as long as I can, for maybe, say, what time is it now? Now the time is, where's my phone? The time is 2:02. Yeah, so I'll see how long I can hold this for, and I'm hoping by the time I come back later on in the evening, I'll be able to show you what it looks like. And yeah, so I already know what it looks like because I've tried this foundation, I've tried this routine a few times, and this is what I do when I want my face to stay put. You can't do this every day because unlike the very controversial, what is it called? The milk of magnesia. This basically has it dries down in the same way. It dries down like a bit of a powdery finish, but this is actually good for your skin. This you can use if you've got spot prone skin. This is actually a good primer. The only thing I will say is if you have dry skin, you might not be able to use this, or at least you'd have to make sure you moisturize properly, because this will dry your skin if you use it every day relentlessly. So I don't use this every day because I don't need to, especially now that I'm not even wearing foundation most days because it's just so hot. But when I know I need to wear foundation, if I feel like, oh, I want to wear foundation this morning, I know my primer can only hold me for so long, and I know if I know it's going to be really, really hot, then I will use this as my insurance basically. So yeah, so I'll show you a clip of what it looked like yesterday, and hopefully show you a clip of what it looks like today, and you can compare. And also because I've done like a little test just to show you what it looks like with primer and on its own. So I definitely actually want to show you the end result of this. I just won't be able to wear it for as long as I did yesterday, but it still will be a long wear test anyway. So yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to thumbs up and like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your family. It's a really good tip, especially for weddings, if you're going to an event and you want your face to stay put. And if you're like me and you suffer from like deep set smile lines and your foundation creases in your smile lines, this routine also helps with that. Keep it finally out. And again, it's not something I it's not something I thought of myself. I just came across this when I was on a forum. Well, I wasn't on a forum, I googled, I think it was a question relating to acne and the treatments for it, and calamine lotion came up on a forum that is really, really good as an acne treatment to dry spots. And then somebody also said in the thread that it was a good primer, and I was like, what did I miss? And I thought, one day let me just try this, and I tried it and I could not believe my face did not get oily. Although that was in winter, this is now summer, and since then I was just like blown away by this bottle, this tiny bottle, and the fact that you have this for years and years. I mean, I don't suggest you keep it for years and years. You probably want to throw it away and buy a new one. But this is like a 200 ml bottle, and you only need a dot. You need a dot on your finger, spread it on your T-zone wherever you get oily, and you're good to go. Or you can mix it with your primer, you can mix it with your moisturizer, and then put your other stuff on. So yeah, enough rambling. I will see you in my next video. Stay blessed. Bye. Hi everyone, so I wanted to show you what my face looks like after a long hot day at work. So it's been about, what time is it now? So it's 5 to 7, and I put my face on around, I think I put it on slightly earlier. Actually no, it was around 7, so I put it on around 7, maybe 10 past 7, and this is possibly, I think this is the hottest day in the UK. I want to say it's like 37 degrees. I think it's stupid. It is stupid. It's a stupid type of heat. It's the type of heat that will melt your makeup on your best day. So yeah, so this is what my face looks like. There is no filter on this at all, and this is actually my face drying down from sweat. This isn't even like oil from shininess. There's a slight bit of dewiness just in the crevice of my nose here, and a slight bit on my forehead, basically like a demi matte, and it was completely matte, but it wasn't completely matte. It was so in the morning when I put it on, it was like a natural finish. It wasn't completely matte, and that natural finish was basically just held on to my face for, it was what I had on my face for, that natural finish was what I had on my face for the majority of the day. My face didn't actually start getting just a little bit more dewy around just before I left work actually, so around 5ish or so. I checked my face during the day, and yeah, this isn't the first time I've used this particular product, which I'm going to feature tomorrow, and it's not a new thing. Some people will know about it, some people won't, and you'll be freaked out when you find out what it is, because what you associate with it isn't what you could also use it for. So this particular product I will feature in tomorrow's video. I actually should have filmed this morning, but to be honest, I couldn't really get myself together, I couldn't get my ish together. So I will film tomorrow morning, but this is what my face looks like, and this is, bearing in mind the quality of of recording on your front facing camera, if that makes sense. So yeah, so my face looks like this, and I'm actually really happy with it. Once I basically block down and maybe just fill in my smile line a bit, and even this is nothing compared to what my smile lines look like at the end of the day with the proper heavy foundation application and the powder, with setting powder. It can look worse than this. There's only a faint line of creasing, and yeah, my face just basically looks glowy and healthy, and I'm really happy with this. And I should be using this every day during summer, but sometimes I just can't be bothered. I think I'm going to go back to it on the days that I'm wearing foundation. And the thing is, this won't stop me sweating. So my face was sweating, and once the sweat dried down, my face was basically back to what you see right now. So my face was wet, but then this is what it looks like after. So yeah, this product holds my face together, it keeps everything in place, and you see a slight indentation here, which is from me wearing my sunglasses, but you can just cover that with powder and be on your way. So yeah, this is a bit longer than I wanted. This is just meant to be like a quick check-in with a little description of what I did, but yeah, anyway, I will see you in the other part of the video. Hi everyone, so I'm back, and the time is now 12:11. So I've had the foundation on since, was it 2:04, something like that? So I've had this foundation on for 10 hours, and this is as long as I can wait. So as you can see, my face is still in place. In fact, in person, I think because it's horrible lighting in my kitchen, in person everything is just blended in. You know, when you wear your foundation, you put your foundation on for the first time, and then you set it, and then you wait about an hour, and when the foundation is all blended in and it's settled into your skin, that's what my face looks like right now. And I'm just looking at myself in the mirror. My face just looks a lot more blended together, from what I can see in real life versus what I can see with this horrible lighting. Yeah, so my face looks only slightly, ever so slightly glowy. In fact, I won't even call it dewy, it's just slightly glowy. Like I said, this lighting isn't really doing my face any justice, but yeah, from what I can see in person, this looks really good, and it's exactly what I would have expected as well, because I have done this routine a fair few times, so I know what to expect. In fact, my nose looks just slightly dewy, but that's about it. Everything else is in place as it was. I just prefer how my face looks when when the foundation has been worn in a bit. That's what I'm trying to describe. So yeah, so my face looks good. This, I think it was my right side that I had the calamine lotion and the primer, and this side is where I had just the calamine lotion. I can't tell any difference, and to be honest, I have like slightly just one deep set right there, deep set, what do you call it, like an acne scar, an old acne scar that's just left a crater in my face. And apart from that's what I needed the primer for. But apart from that, if you don't have like large pores, you don't necessarily need the primer, unless you just want to have like a smoothing effect, which is kind of what you benefit for by having the primer on top of the calamine lotion. And yeah, it just makes it easier to blend, because the calamine lotion is quite stiff or dry, should I say. So trying to blend foundation over it, you just need to make sure that it's blended into your skin, it dries properly, you don't leave like large streaks of it. You need to blend it into your skin almost like you're trying to rub lotion into your skin. That's the only thing I can definitely add to this. But apart from that, I love the way my face looks. Yeah, it looks a lot more shiny, I want to say, but it really isn't at all. Yeah, my face looks really good in person, and everything just looks blended. Yeah, so this is as good as I can get it with this lighting. But yeah, just wanted to show you what it looks like, and I think I'll also insert the clip of how it wore. Oh, what the heck is that? Of how it wore yesterday, and that was, like I said, really hot weather. Yeah, and I just love this, using this calamine lotion on my face in hot weather, or when I know I've got an event or I need my face to last all day. And also my smile lines aren't as deep set as they normally would. In fact, they're barely creasing, barely. So yeah, that also helps with that. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to add. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you try this, if you've tried it before, if you've heard of this and you've tried it before, let me know. And yeah, so, and oh, actually, if you've also tried the milk of magnesia, how does it compare? If you've tried this and you've tried that, how does it compare? Because I always thought that was a bit shady, just using something that's meant for your stomach on your face. I would never do that, but obviously if it gives you the right finish, I can definitely understand why people would, or why a lot of people did do that. But yeah, I wouldn't do that. But this gives basically a similar finish, and it just keeps you matte. So I definitely go with this. This is meant for your face, not that. But yeah, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'm really tired, I need to go to bed. Yeah, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below, let me know what you think, and let me know what you want to see from me next, because I do have a few ideas I'm bouncing around, and I have loads of videos I need to get out, and less time than I have to get them out as per usual. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you in my next video. Stay blessed, have a good night people. Bye.